Vanessa is one of the few people that were very close to my mom the last 2 years of her life, especially the last days, you guys, of my mom's life. And she's never spoken about that publicly.
Seeing your mom go through what she went through in those last moments and how she would cry and stuff like that, I had to make a decision to have her back.
I have gotten comments when people would be like, oh, how is Vanessa your friend? And didn't she want to kick your ass because she was your mom's friend? And I was like, yes, that is all correct. Hello, and welcome back to your favorite podcast, of course, Chiquis and Chill. Duh. I hope you all are doing amazing. Summer is just around the corner, so I hope you all have some fun activities or getaways planned. I am going to Greece, you guys, because I'm a summer baby, so my birthday's coming up. We're going to go for a few days, and actually, our next guest is going with me. One of my closest friends, Vanessa, will be joining me to talk about our friendship and our business endeavors. For those of you who don't know, Vanessa has been a part of my life and a part of my family's life for quite some time. I am so ready to get into this conversation. So let's do it. This is Chiquis and Chill. All right, y'all. So sitting here with me right now is Vanessa Sanchez, my boo. She's actually right down the street from me, you guys. She lives literally down the street from me. Okay, so she's a hairstylist who has worked with celebrities like my mother, Jenni Rivera. She's also worked with Kate del Castillo, whom we've had on the podcast before. That was a really great interview, by the way. And she's also my hairstylist friend and business partner. Hi, boo. How are you?
Hi, boo. I'm good. Just a little nervous, but I'm good.
Don't be nervous. It's okay. It's just, it's a conversation, between comadres, because she's also my comadre, you guys.
Yes.
And talking about her children, because I'm the Nina of two of her children. Today's her daughter's graduation, and I'm just so grateful, boo, that you took the time out of this important day to be on the podcast with us. So thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Luckily, her graduation isn't until this evening, so I was able to do both. So I'm super excited and nervous, and I'm very proud.
You should be very proud. She is such a beautiful, you guys. She's beautiful from the outside and the inside. She's super smart. That's her eldest, and she's graduating from nursing school, you guys.
Yes, so we're going to have a nurse to take care of us.
Yes, some IVs and all that good stuff. Botox, maybe.
Right.
So congratulations on that to all of you, because
Thank you.
Her dad, you, and her stepdad, your husband. So you guys did a great job. So you guys, we're going to talk about a lot of things, because I have gotten comments before, not as much as 10 years ago, when people would be like, oh, how is Vanessa your friend? And didn't she want to kick your ass because she was your mom's friend? And I was like, yes, that is all correct. And we've never talked about it. We've never, and
we've talked about it.
We've talked about it, but we haven't talked about it in public. And Vanessa is one of the few people that were very close to my mom the last 2 years of her life, especially the last days, you guys, of my mom's life. Vanessa was there. And she's never spoken about that publicly. And I am grateful for that. I know my siblings are grateful for that. And we just didn't really think, it's necessary to talk about certain details. But now time has passed, and now I'm like, okay, well, it's part of my story. So anyways, Vanessa was my mom's friends first. They started off because my mom needed a hairstylist. So Vanessa did her hair, and from there, it turned into a friendship. And you spent a lot of time with her, especially the last day. So tell us a little bit about how you guys met.
We met, she was looking for a hairdresser, and she said she was going to call me, and I was like, really? I was like, Jenny's going to call me? And I thought it was not true. I was like, whatever. And sure enough, they had told me at the time that her phone number started with a 909 area code. And, I never answer random numbers. And they're like, make sure you answer that 909 number. It's going to be Jenny. And I was like, okay. And then 2 days went by and she didn't call. So I was like, yeah, it's just probably a bunch of BS. She's not going to call. And then I saw a 909 number come through, and I was like, holy shit. And I was like, okay. So I answered the phone, and I still won't forget. I was in the middle of the salon, and I walked to the back to the color room to take the call. And she just said, hey girl, it's me, Jenny. And I was like, oh my God. But I was like, oh, hi, how are you? So she asked me if I still did extensions, if I took that, that class. And which was the funny thing was that the first time I met her, she had extensions in her hair, and I was not concerned. I didn't do them at the time. So I was debating, we're talking like, I don't know, 15 years ago, what extension line to go through, which class. And it was like a lot of money. It was like a class was like either $1,700 or $3,000 to learn how to do extensions. So I didn't know where to put my investment in. You know, and that was a lot of money, like, for me back then. And I mean, it still is, but I mean, it was a lot.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I was like, let me ask her which ones she has and what she recommends, since she wears them. And she's like, oh, I love these extensions. And, you know, I love hair locks, and they're the best. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was between hair locks and, like, I forgot the other brand, like Great Lengths or something like that back in the day. So I took the class, I made the investment, and that was it. Like, I didn't ever call her to tell her that, you know, I had taken the course or anything like that. And I continued doing extensions for like a good solid 5 years when she called and asked, hey, did you ever take that class?
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I was like, I did.
So 5 years later.
5 years later, like, it was like a seed was planted, and I'll never like forget that, because I could have said no. You know, I took the other route that was cheaper, but I took the route that, you know, I just said, fuck it, I'm just going to take it. And I did. And she goes, how good are you? And I said, I'm really good. I've been doing them for like 5 years. And she said, wow, okay. And she said, okay, I'm going to have my assistant, at the time was Julie. And she goes, I'm going to have my assistant drop off my hair, and that way you can go and order hair for me. And I was like, okay. And she did. Julie came and dropped off all these samples of hair. And I was like, then I didn't know what to do, because the hair was really expensive. And I was like, how do I pay for all this? It's like almost $2,000 worth of hair. And like, what if she doesn't show up? But I don't want to act like I'm broke and I can't afford to buy her hair beforehand. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take a leap of faith, and I'm just going to buy the hair, and because it's non-refundable.
And it's expensive. Like,
and
you
it's
said.
expensive. Yeah. So I was like, yeah. So I did. And I went and I bought all her hair, and I bought extra, because I was like, what if it's not enough? And then like, what if you know, so I ended up spending like probably close to like $2,500 just on hair for her. And I was like so scared, because I'm like, if she doesn't show up or if she doesn't like it, I'm freaking screwed.
Yeah.
So she had asked for complete privacy, because she had a falling out with her hairdresser for not having privacy in her hair salon visits. And I said, okay, yeah, you know, so I went in on a Monday, which was a day off, my day off. My salon was closed, and she was about an hour and a half late. And I was sitting there thinking like, damn, she's not going to show up, you know?
She was an hour and a half late?
An hour and a half late.
So Jenni. That is so Jenni. Always late.
So then I'm like, you know, I'm just going to call her. And I called her. She's like, hey, girl, I'm so sorry. I got tied up. And, you know, I'm literally down the street. I'm on my way. And I was like, okay, well, that's good. You know, like, that's fine, you know? So she came in, and it was just like, I was so nervous too. Like, I was like, oh, shit. And then when I saw her hair, and I'm like, wait, you don't only need extensions. Like, you need your whole hair done, like your roots, your highlights. She goes, I know. And I'm like,
oh. She forgot that a very small detail.
Right. And I was like, oh, okay. So now I'm doing color, and I'm doing all this stuff. And so in a nutshell, it was like about 8 hours later, because back then we had to do individual extensions, which now I only do like tape-ins or sew-ins, and it was like one by one. So 250 pieces individually put into her hair.
That's insane. I remember those. She loved those damn things.
She loved those damn things. And I was like,
they would pull my hair out, but she was like stuck on them. And my mom wore extensions for years, you guys. She could not see herself without extensions. It was crazy.
Yeah. So 8 hours later, you know, and I showed her hair, and she like loved it. I still have the picture of the day that I showed her the back of her hair. And she goes, you passed the test. And I was like, what test? And she goes, the hairdressing test. My hair looks, she's like, grabbed it. She's like, I love it. It looks amazing. And, you know, this and that. And I was like, I didn't know I was being tested. She goes, oh, you were being tested.
That is so Jenni fashion. Like, it is just her to test you. You know what I mean? And she's like, okay, I just want you to know you're on trial. You're on probation. I just kind of, you know, but that's awesome, because now I didn't know this whole story about, like, she had told you to take the class. So it's like she has a lot to do with like your career and you know what I mean? Like, you've been doing hair for like what, 25 years plus?
28 years.
28 years, you guys. And Vanessa still looks real good, you guys, just FYI. She has 4 kids. But like, so you've been doing hair for a long ass time. But I didn't know this story, which is awesome. Look, I'm even learning something new, you guys. And I know that she was a huge part of like your career, but also as like a mother and as a wife, you know, like she was a very good friend to you in that way.
Yeah, she was like, I always say, like the sister I never had.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And you have her tattooed on your arm.
Yeah, I do have her on my arm.
She got it done after my mom passed. Yeah.
And I remember like that Thursday before she left, I was packing for her to go to Monterrey, and she was showing me on her phone some pictures of fans of hers that had tattoos of her, like a girl that had one like in her back smoking and different things. And I'm like, they're crazy. I told her, who would tattoo you? Like, I mean, you're good, but like to put you on there like that, that's insane. And she goes, what, are you jealous, bitch? And I said, no, I'm just like, I would just never do that. Like, I mean, I loved Prince at the time. Prince was still alive. And I said, but I would never go blast Prince on my body. Like, that's insane. And then
look at Vanessa se tragó las palabras, you guys.
I ate my words. Not even a month, maybe 2 months later, she was my first portrait.
It's because she impacted your life so much. And we're going to talk about all of that. But anyways, okay, so was my mom picky with her hair?
She wasn't picky. I mean, she was picky, but she wasn't a full diva when it came to her hair. Unless we were like about to go on stage, then she was a real diva. Like right before she went on, she would like nitpick, and she would take the curling iron from me and start curling her own hair that I already curled. And I was like, whatever, just it makes her feel good that she's doing
she
that.
She was like that though, even with her makeup. She wanted to do her own eyebrows, her own mascara, her own lip liner.
I'm like, so you're just paying for eyeshadow, foundation, and contour at this
point. Because she was a little bit of a control freak. So I know she wanted her curls a certain way. Those curls, in my opinion, aren't in anymore.
Right.
They were kind of not in back then. But for her, it's like, I want my curly quinceañera hair. Because throughout the show, se le caían.
Right.
You know, but she was so picky. If like one curl was out of place, you guys, she'd be like, hold on. You miss, and even in the back.
I would always have like a little spot that I would miss right here. She's also, do you leave this for good luck or what? I was like,
that's true. She's like, is this for good luck? Oh my gosh. She would, and you would think she's not paying attention because she would be on her phone all day. Like when you were doing her hair, her makeup. But then she would know. She knew
everything. Everything. She knew everything was going on. If like the era was like wrong between like if me and one of the other people on her team were not getting along, she was like, so what's happened? What did they do to you? What's going on? Like she knew something was off. Like
very
instantly.
Intuitive woman. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
She knew. My mother was very busy, but very present.
I remember one time that we were at Tengo Talento, and I was pregnant at the time, and I had a big fight with my kid's father at the time. Like, and I was just like holding it together. Like, so I did her hair, and I didn't like shed one tear. Like, but I was like broken by some stuff that had happened between me and him. But I was like, this is work, and I have to like separate the two. And again, I didn't say a word to her. I didn't say anything. And she went, I did her hair, she performed, and she came back and she closed the door and she asked everybody to get out. And I was like, am I getting fired? Like, what the fuck why is she doing that? She goes, and she touched me. She goes, what's wrong? What did he do to you? And I was like this, and my tears just went.
That's so crazy, Vanessa. I'm like that.
Yeah.
She
like waited. She waited to go and do what she had to do because she didn't have time to like obviously address it. And I wasn't going to bring it up. Like, I'm not going to pawn my problems onto her. Like she's about to go on stage. Like that's not what I do. But she came back and then she was just like, what happened? What did he do? I know something's wrong. And I'm like, how? I didn't say a word.
It's because she was very human. You know what I mean? And that's one thing that is a good thing and a bad thing. And I have become like that where my employees become like my family, you know? So it's not just like come and do a service for me and that's it. Right. It's like, no, like they become part of our family, our extended family. So I think she would feel it. She was very like in tune with her feelings and other people as well. No matter how busy she was, she always took the time to like text you, hey, how are you? And she would respond. Even if it was hours later, she would respond. And it's just little things like that people don't know. And I think the whole funny thing about this is that obviously when, you know, Jenni was supposed to call you, you know, Jenni Rivera, and she like, for me, I didn't know that you weren't like a fan, not even of the music, you guys, of regional music. She didn't know anything. She didn't know about banda, nothing. It was just, I know Jenni Rivera is a famous person. I'm doing a famous person, but she wasn't like a fan, you guys. It wasn't like, I love her music and I love Mexican regional.
I didn't become honestly a fan of her music, like where I'm like loved it till, and it's crazy to say like till after she left, because to me she was just my friend. Yeah. So it didn't like I would think she was badass and I loved it when I started working with her, but not till after I was like, holy fuck! I realized the magnitude of what she offered to everybody as opposed to like when I met her as a friend and as a client. So it did it. I wasn't a fan.
I love that. I think that makes it even more special because people could say, oh, you know, it's all about clout and, you know, riding her coattail. And it's like, actually, it wasn't. It was quite the opposite. And how long did you do her hair?
Before she left, I guess I met her the first time in 2007. And then I started doing her hair, I believe, in like 2009.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. So that's the story with them and how they met, you guys. My mom and I, in 2012, we had a big fallout. Some of you may know, some of you might know, but you guys can read the stories in both my books, you know, Forgiveness or Unbreakable. No, wait, Unbreakable. Unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
Yeah, Unstoppable. That's my mom's. My mom's is Unbreakable. Mama, wait. So anyways, that's a detailed story. But in 2012, October of 2012, my mom and I had a huge fallout. The beginning of the month with my sister Jenica's quinceañera. And I was very scared to go because my mom was like, you can't bring anyone. You're going to come. And we're not talking, but you need to be here for your sister. And I said, okay. So there I go. I was so nervous and no one was talking to me. It was just a huge, huge misunderstanding. There were a lot of people that I feel didn't want to see my mom and I close. So a lot of people had to do. Echaron mano en esto. Y bueno, Vanessa, being her friend, was the one that I was like scared of the most because I remember walking in and she looked at me. She gave me eyes of death. I said, this bitch is gonna fuck me up. and she was like, you gave me these eyes, you know, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I'll never forget that because I was like shaking in my boots. I was like, okay, I know I shouldn't fight and Vanessa probably kicked my ass. But I think it was because in that time it was just difficult. You know what I mean?
It was a very
because
difficult time.
It was like if you weren't on my mom's side, to say the least, or, you know, it was like, you're against me sort of thing, right?
Yeah, it was more like I was one-sided. And I guess, you know, like I said, seeing your mom, like, you know, go through what she went through in those last, you know, moments and how she would cry and stuff like that. So it got to a point where I had to make a decision to have her back because not that I believed that what she was believing was true. It was more like for her own sanity and for her own safety. She needed to know, like, I believed her, even though I didn't.
People that were around her. Mm-hmm.
Yes. If you were on her team, if you were left, the little people that were left on her team, you had to be 100% on her team. Because if you brought any little thing, I would have smiled at you or would have like been nice to you. It would have been, I don't know what would have happened.
Right.
She needed to feel that.
Mm-hmm. She needed to feel that the people that are closest to her and that she loved and, you know, loved her, that no matter what, they were with her. So just to give a little bit of a backstory, you guys, because some of you may not know this, and I don't really like to talk about it anymore, but someone started this rumor that I had slept with my mom's husband, Esteban. And that is absolutely false. That never happened. It never will happen. They said that there was a video. And there is a video. There is a video. But there's nothing on that video, any inappropriate conduct, nothing. And Vanessa watched it along with Johnny, my brother, for hours and hours and hours at a time.
Yes, that is correct. And that's something that I have never spoken on because of respect to you, your brothers, and I mean, your siblings. You know, I love your family very much. And to me, it's like, it's not my place to go and, you know, get interviews. I mean, I got offered tons of interviews after your mom passed away. And I was like, that's not who I am. That's not my style. Mm-hmm. I won't do that, you know? But now it's been so many years that it's happened. And, you know, I feel like, you know what, like Chiquis, like obviously our friendship has grown and we've been close for a very long time. And it's very frustrating and upsetting to me the way people, the media, other family members of yours try to not defend you and drag your name through the gutter. When mm-hmm. I saw that video for about 4 to 6 hours with your mom, over and over, with Johnny, with Julie. We sat in her room and Johnny was going back up and down the stairs, replaying it. And
Johnny at like the age of what? How old is he? 9?
Was he like 9? He was the only one that knew how to work the computers.
Yeah.
So he was playing them back and forth. And he was like, "What's going on, mama? Mama?" She's like, "Go put it back to, you know, whatever." And he's like, "Okay, mama." And he kept like going up and down the stairs. And I'm like, as I was watching this video with her, I'm like thinking like, well, what are we going to see? What's going to happen? Because we've already been watching it for like X amount of time. And by the vibe in the room was like, I was thinking I was going to see some like crazy shit. And I'm like, I don't see anything. I don't see anything. Like, what's going on? And I would look at her and I would look at Julie and I'm like, is she going crazy or am I like blind? Like what's going on? And then it got to the point where I realized, I mean, and I know this may sound bad. I don't know if the delusional is the word, just overworked, tired. She just was seeing something that wasn't there.
She was going through a lot. And there was one particular woman, and I talk about this in my book, you guys. So that's what I'm saying. Go read it if you want to know the full story. But there was one particular woman that had just entered her life a few months before who was just in her ear. And I think wanted to take control and was putting just so many toxic things in her that I think my mom just wasn't thinking clearly. And she was exhausted and she was losing weight rapidly. So I think she wasn't eating enough. She was also having issues with Esteban, her husband. And then this whole thing. And the video we're talking about are surveillance cameras, you guys. She had a camera. We had cameras all over the house in our house in Encino and even inside in the stairs to see who would go into the bedrooms. So in that video, you see me walking into my mom's bedroom to say bye to Esteban because my mom wasn't home. And I wasn't in there for no more than 5 minutes, you guys. And you see me walk out, down the stairs, outside of the door. You see my car drive away. Exactly, my little buggy drive away. And that's it. So I was just like, what? When I finally watched this video, because I didn't watch it until after she passed, I was like, what the hell? How? Where? You clearly see me walk into the room. And the camera is counting down and it's not even 5 minutes. It's a little bit less than 5 minutes. You see me walk down and leave. So I was just like, what is happening? Like, I was so confused. I was devastated, you guys. I was devastated for 2 months of my life before my mom passed away. So that was in October.
And then I would just want to clarify something that people say that just this is like 100% real, the truth. They say she was walking out of the room fixing her clothes. That is fucking bullshit.
Oh, that I was.
She was not walking, that you were. And you did not walk out of the room fixing your clothes. I put my life on the line, my 4 children on the line. Like that, you walked out of the room and you just like skipped your happy way down the stairs. Like there was nothing of that sort. Like, and I know that. And I vouch that 100%. You know, and I watched that video and that wasn't the case, like at all.
It was something that completely devastated me for years until one day, I mean, obviously you guys know I go to therapy. I love therapy. 2013 was one of the worst years of my life, living without my mother, trying to raise my siblings, dealing with this shit, the media, and just wanting my family to come out, the people that had watched that video to come out and defend me. And they wouldn't. And it was just, I was living in hell. It was horrible. And thank goodness my strength. And I was like, you know what? I said, let me take this negative thing that happened in my life and see it as something positive. And it gave me the strength. And I feel like my mom in some way, because we never got to talk about it like thoroughly and for me to show her my evidence, because I had evidence. I have the evidence still. I have the phone bill. I have everything. I was like, look, Mom, this is where I was. I would have never, ever done that, you know?
And I told her that. I said, let her show you the phone bill that she was on the phone with Angel. Like, everything's tracked.
Angel's my ex-boyfriend, you guys, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's okay. She was on the phone. And so I said, let her show you the thing. She goes, oh, papers could be altered. I said, yeah, but not the online can't be altered. If we log in, if she brings her computer and she logs into the, the Verizon, I believe you had Verizon at the time. She had told me. And she goes, we log into Verizon. She can't alter the website.
Yeah.
If you're on the phone for 47 minutes to somebody, you can't change that on a computer in front of you at Verizon.com. She goes, you can't? No, and I said, no, you can't.
It's almost like she didn't want to fix things. And I keep thinking about it because that was the second time that my mom and I had a fallout for 2 to 3 months, you guys. That's the second time. The first time I was 15 years old and then it happened before she passed, right? So I just feel like not that she knew she was going to pass, but it's just like God's plan is so perfect because it gave me the strength to be there for my siblings. I don't know what would have happened if I would have had the strength, if I would have broken down. I don't know. If I didn't have those 2.5 months before my mom passed to prepare myself and to go to therapy and for the therapist to tell me, well, you got to start living your life as if your mother's not here because it doesn't look like you guys are going to fix things. So you need to start just coming to terms with that. And that was 2 weeks before my mom passed. And then, not saying that it didn't hurt me when she passed, I just was a little further in the healing process, in the grieving process than everyone else. So anyways, that's just a little bit of it. And that's how this whole thing happened. And that's why, because some people know this story and some people knew that Vanessa was really close to my mom and now she's really close to me. And so people talk crap and say, oh my God, why is Vanessa now your comadre and your friend all of a sudden and one of your best friends and blah, blah, blah. It must be because it's clout. And I'm like, no, that means that she was a very loyal friend. And she knew, right, when my mom passed, we fixed things. Everyone was at my grandma's house for like 2 weeks straight. We slept at my grandma's house. And Vanessa was one of the people that was there almost every day for hours and hours at a time. And I remember telling someone at my grandma's house, I'm like, you know what, I'm just nervous. I was like, I feel like Vanessa's going to kick my ass. Like, I don't know. And so they sat us down and Vanessa apologized. And, you know, she just said, I'm sorry, I had to be there for your mom, but I got to tell you, I never thought that you did it. That you did that. It's just, I had to be on your mom's, like, I had to show her at her back, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, to bring up, like, even Thanksgiving, you wrote her an email and she was at my house. Mm-hmm. She was at my house when she read the email and she was broken and she was crying so hard. And I thought something that like bad had happened to you. Like, I thought like maybe like you had passed away because the way she was crying, she was so devastated. And then when I said, what is it? And she had a little BlackBerry and she was like scrolling down and showing me the email and reading it to me. And she was just crying and crying and crying. So then I grabbed her by her shoulders and I was like, look, Jen, I was like, you need to make a fucking choice. Like, you need to make a public apology and say you're sorry that you messed up. Mm-hmm. Or if your daughter did do that, you need to forgive her regardless because it's killing you. You know, like, you need to make a choice. That's it. Like, you're going to end up like, look at you. And she just said, with that look on her face, and she told me, she's like, I know. She was like, I'm just not ready. I wait until I get back from Mexico. So she knew that she had made a mistake and she didn't know how to fix it. She didn't know how to backpedal because she was like, damn, I'm in so deep. Like, I've done so much stuff and I was wrong. And I think it was so hard for her to accept it. And she was like, I'm going to have to fix this. And she's had it on the back burner because she wanted to finish her concert in Monterrey, come back and fix things. But, you know, time didn't allow that.
Yeah. And then that was that Thanksgiving. I remember writing that email and I just said, I'm going to send it. This is going to be the last time that I try to reach out because I had just talked to my therapist. And I just said, I love you and I'm here whenever you want to see my evidence. I miss you. Happy Thanksgiving. I spent that Thanksgiving by myself, you guys. And then thank God, one of my really good friends, she invited me to her house because that's my favorite holiday. So my mom knew that.
Yeah, she knew that.
And she knew that. And I think it was like we were missing each other so much.
So much.
So it was really hard. And then, you know, she passed. And Vanessa was there with my mom that Thursday. My mom flew out, I think, on Thursday. My mom passed on Sunday. So she was there with her, sleeping in her bed with her. And then my mom never came back. But yeah, you say that you felt something, huh?
Oh, yeah, I felt it 100%. I knew like something was like, and I just felt it, just this, her energy, like the era, like everything, like, and she wanted to take everything with her. Like she took so much stuff. And I was like, why are you taking all this stuff? She's like, because it's mine and I can. And I was like, okay. Like
she loved her diamonds, you guys. So she took all her most expensive diamonds with her.
Yeah. And she never would. When she would go to Mexico, she would take her other stuff, you know?
Now, you know, forwarding to now what, almost 11 years later, Vanessa and I, with time, little by little, started becoming really close. And after that conversation, and she apologized, and I said, okay, cool. She started doing my hair. She was the first one to help me with my hair and makeup at like, literally, she wouldn't charge me, you guys. I felt like that was your way. And I don't know, we've never really talked about it, like your way of saying, I'm sorry. And also being there, being a good friend to my mom. You knew how important her kids were. So it's like her daughter's about to embark on this new journey of singing. The best thing I could do for my friend and for her daughter is to be there for her. So she didn't charge me, you guys, for like years.
Yeah.
So she would do my extensions and my color and we would travel together. And that's how it started. And it just grew into being comadres. And now we have a business together. But it's been what? Since my mom passed, basically.
Right. I mean, we were friends before then, but then obviously...
Like, we were cool, but you were more my mom's friend.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's something that Vanessa, and people I think wonder, like, why we stopped working together. It was more because Vanessa was trying to work things out with her ex-husband or her baby daddy, and the kids were little, and I would think like, yeah, I was like,
traveling and
the traveling, and I just felt very like, and my mom felt the same way too. Remember, she wouldn't want to take you with her.
She didn't want to take me. I was actually supposed to go with her to Mexico. We talked about it, and then at the time, my son was only 6 months old, and she said, "No, the baby's too small. Like you need to stay here with him."
Yeah, and see, those are things that people don't know about my mother. My mom was very selfless in that way of, okay, I don't want to take you from your kids. And if something happens, I don't want your kids to be motherless because they're so little. They were babies, you know? So, because Renee, you were pregnant. You had just had Renee.
Yeah, when your mom passed, I had Renee was 6 months old, but, you know, I had Lola and Renee. They were both under 2 years old.
Yeah. So then when I started my career in 2014, they were babies. They were little babies. So that's the only thing, you know, other stuff little happened, little chismes and all that. But we fixed it, and here we are, and now we're business partners.
Yes, we are. We have a very, very great hair line.
Yes, it's called Plantitas. And we started we had a meeting yesterday. We had a numbers meeting with our accountant, and it's doing very well, thanks to all of you guys. And if you still haven't tried it out, you guys need to go to the website, okay, and check out our products. But it's been, 2 years?
2 years.
Now? Mm-hmm. So it's been 2 years. And because, again, Vanessa has so much experience in the hair world, I trusted her. I was like, I want her to be my business partner, and I love taking care of my hair. And I think we're amazing business partners.
I think so, too. I think it's really good because we like bounce off each other, you know, and I feel like, you know, you have been, you know, always into your hair as well. So when I'm like, okay, let's try this product. Let's just try this out. You're a good guinea pig. You're like, okay, yeah, I like this. No, I don't like it. Boo, I don't like this. It's too thick, or it's, you know, it weighs my hair down and stuff like that. So it's good, you know, and we're both Latinas, strong, you know, thriving.
Hardworking.
And I think
honest.
It's good. Very honest.
Yeah.
I think it's very good that, you know, we're able to show, I feel like other Latinas, like it's good to like empower each other, women, and make sure that, you know, we support all businesses, you know, like I love to support like anywhere from like, you know, people that make strawberries, that make t-shirts, you know, graphic designers, like everybody, like everybody on our team is a woman. Like there is no man on the team.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not that we're biased, but I feel like I just love helping and, you know, having the women around, and then men just throw everything off. It's like, forget it.
Women, we just do things better. We multitask very well.
Yeah. Like every now and then I'll have my husband like, can you move these boxes? And he's like, that's all I can do. I'm like, yeah, just move the boxes. We need your manpower.
I love David. Shout out to David, her husband, Sergeant Moreno. Yes. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like when you were saying that I was a guinea pig, because that's how it started, you guys. It was very organic. Like she started with her CBD line because she has, what is the thing?
TMJ.
TMJ.
And,
so it's like,
she's actually the one that told me to do the CBD, and I can't smoke weed because I like get paranoia. Like I freaking can. I've tried every kind, and it does not work for me. So she's like, "Boo, you need to try CBD. It's gonna really help you." And I'm like, "What the hell is that?" She's like, "It's not gonna make you high." You know, I
had to educate her on it. She researched it.
Yeah, so I researched it. I started trying different CBDs, and that was the only thing that was able to help my TMJ. And
so TMJ, it's like when your jaw locks, you guys, if you don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, so my jaw locks up, and so I started with CBD line, and then we started getting into like the topicals and rollers and arnica, and I was like, "Boo, yeah," and I was like, "Boo, you got to try this." And she was been my guinea pig and like my supporter since day one that I started my CBD company, you know?
And that's what I wanted for her, because she was tired of she loves doing hair, but after so many years, you guys being behind a chair, it was just, she's like, I'm like, you need to start a business, do it. This is something. And the best thing is to have a mission statement and a reason behind it. And you have a story to tell, because this is real. And her nervous system was all out of whack. Her stress was killing her. So CBD was really the only thing that helped calm everything down. So she started that, and then she's like, I was like, you need to start a shampoo line. Honestly, like you need to start a shampoo line. And she's like, okay. So she started doing it, and I started testing everything with her for 6 months. And then we decided to become business partners. And now we're barely going to pay ourselves, you guys. See, it takes a while.
Oh my God, that's so true.
Yes. Because it's like, I want people not to get, 2 years, not to get discouraged. Like if you're a small business starting out, be patient. It's a baby. You got to just be patient. There are days where it's going to be slower than others, But after 2 years, guys, now we're finally going to pay ourselves.
Yeah, we're getting a paycheck. And I was so nervous to bring it up. I was all, well, I'm like, let's go over our numbers. I was like, wait, boo, can we get paid?
Yeah. You were like, I was going to bring it up. I was like, well, actually, I was too. So you guys be patient and just know that businesses take a while. And the first couple of years, it's going to be tough. But here we are, and I'm very proud of us. And hopefully, we can inspire you guys to just, if you have an idea, if you have something that you love doing and you're passionate about it, just try it.
Try it. Just do it.
Yeah. The biggest risk is not taking a risk.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then nothing is too small. Like, I started with like 4 products, and I think we're up to like 13 products now. And, every time we just get bigger and better, and we're like, oh, well, we can do this. Like yesterday, me and Lacey were up to we were on a good one, like till like midnight, developed, like thinking of all these different things. And the brain was just going and going. Yeah. So it's like the more I guess like it's like working out, but I don't work out. But like when they say your endorphins start going. So I think once I start to get into that work mode, I just cannot turn it off. I'm like going and going and going. And so girls, women out there, just if you have an idea, freaking run with it, man.
Run with it and start, like she said, small. You can have 1 or 2 products, give it your all. Once you get money from that, then you can get another product and so on and so forth. So just be patient, you guys. Be patient. Okay, so I have a question for you. Are there pros and cons to having a business partner? Okay, and don't worry, because I know I'm your business partner, but just for people out there. I mean, for me personally, I feel that there's more pros than cons. The only con for me personally is that we're 50-50 partners, so we have to split everything 50-50.
Right.
But other than that, it's less work on me, and I'm busy doing other things. So that's why I love having a business partner, a smart businesswoman. I only have business partners that are women, guys, because that's just my shit. That's my thing. But anyways, what about you?
I honestly, how do I say this without sounding crazy? I honestly would never do business with anybody else but you, because of the fact that you're so busy that you let us run with it, if that makes sense. It's
I trust you,
and there's trust. And I know like you have your own money and you're not like, I've had like known different people and different experiences in the past. I had a friend that I did back in like, I don't want to say like 20 years ago, I was in a bind, when I got my first divorce, and I went into partnership with my hair salon, and it lasted like probably like not even 3 weeks. And she went psycho. And I was like, oh my gosh, never again would I ever do this. Like she came in, she tried to change the whole salon around, change the music. And she just like, I was like, what do you mean? What are you doing? And after that, I was like, I'll never have another partner again. Like with this now, with me and you, I feel like because we have the friendship and like it's not our only source of income. So it's like we're able to dab and still like I'm obviously still behind the chair, and I have the CBD line as well, and I like
because it's still growing.
It's still growing, and I like to have my eggs in like different baskets and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, if you could do it on your own, it's better. But if you can find a partner that is not relying, and that's not their only source of income, then I think it would be okay. It would be better. Because if you guys are both starving or starting out and you guys both need money, then it's going to be very, very difficult. You know what I mean? But us, we did it like, of course, like we need money, but we have other sources of income. So we have
our main jobs.
We have our main job. So this is kind of like a hobby / like, okay, let's grow as Latinas, as women, and, let's get, this going. But it's not our only thing that we're relying to put food on the table for.
Exactly. So, and obviously our ultimate goal would be to live off of this brand eventually,
Correct.
So don't leave your job, guys, and say, okay, I'm going to leave my job and go start this business. I think you need to have your job still, because that's going to bring in financial stability, and do this or your business as a side hustle until it grows. And again, it takes 1, 2, 3 years even. Sometimes even 5, you guys, to really have a lucrative business. You have to be patient. So don't go in there and be like, I'm going to leave my job, my day. No, keep your 9 to 5 or keep whatever it is that you're doing. That's basically what we're doing. It's like, I have so much faith in this brand that I'm still doing my singing. I'm still doing everything else, but I still do this. And I just thank God that I have the platform and the way to share it with you guys. And it's something that I'm very passionate about. I mean, hopefully that inspires you guys. And if you guys ever have questions, maybe we should have another podcast, Vanessa, you and I, about, just business, just like, business advice or something.
Yeah, I think it would definitely be good to help people with that because I always say there's enough business to go around everywhere. Like I still buy other hair product from other people. Like, you know what I mean? It's not just because I have mine, I'm only going to buy my product. Ours is great. It's the best in my eyes, but there's still other people that are just as good. You know, it just depends. Everybody has different texture hair, different color, ethnicity. So it's not like you can't say like, this is the best product. This is the only one you need. Like, no, you need multiple products to create a certain look.
That's what I love about you. You're not a hater. You're not one to be like, you know what I mean? Like I'm the same way, which I think that's why it works, you guys. That's another thing in partnerships. You have to be transparent. You have to be honest. You have to have these conversations from the very beginning. Look, we're two comadres coming together, two friends. And we're not going to let this business get between us. We have to be honest and we have to learn to separate friendship from business. And let's talk numbers and let's show each other this is what's going on in the bank accounts. Right. Because you don't want to ever tarnish your friendship for business over money.
Me, honestly, that was my first thing. Like I was like, there is no way I'm going to ruin our friendship or any friendship at that matter of mine. I have a very small circle over money. Like there's no value.
Yeah, it's priceless.
It's priceless is what I meant to say. Like there's no way I'm going to like over $5,000 or $20 or $10,000 am I going to ruin a friendship? It's not worth it to me.
And that's what we're both on that same page and we talked about it. That was the first thing we talked about when we entered this partnership. And just for you know, before we close out, since you've been doing hair for so long, what is, I don't know, let's think of a tip that you can give people. Okay, for extensions, for instance, because I think everyone is into tape-ins or the K-tips or whatever. Everyone wants extensions. What is your opinion or a tip that you can give people for their extensions to last longer? I already know what you're going to say because you'd rather do clip-in extensions.
Correct.
You like clip. Yeah.
Yes, I
tell
do.
them why. Yeah.
I like clip-ins because of the fact that any kind of extension you're gonna put into your hair, it's gonna do some minimal damage. It's depending on the technician to the method. It doesn't matter what anybody tells you, like, oh, these don't damage your hair. Anything foreign to your hair is gonna damage it. Whether it's eyelash extensions, hair extensions, it's gonna do some kind of pulling some weight on your hair. So me being that I've been a hairdresser for 28 years and I've wore extensions all the time, I put them in my clients' hair all the time, but I let them know like, hey, you need to take breaks every now and between, let your hair like get healthy and then we can put them back in, you know? So my suggestion is like, if you already have fine hair, go with clip-ins. I feel like that's just better on and off. But some people, you know, if you don't care that you're going to lose a little bit of hair, then just buy your plantita shampoo and it'll grow back.
I love that. And talking about that, share your social media, boo. Share your Instagram and share the website, por favor.
My Instagram is Hair by Vanessa Sanchez and our website is vspurelynatural.com.
Exactly. And then also she has her hair salon, you guys. It's Prime Hair on Instagram, right?
Right.
So there you go. Boo, thank you so much for being on. I had a great conversation with you.
Me too.
And I love you.
I love you too.
It's so nice to like talk to you. Like we bullshit. We like sit down and we buzz and we just, talk about things. But this is a different conversation. So thank you for being on. I'm sure we all appreciate it. And you guys, thank you for listening. I hope that you enjoyed and you learned quite a bit about my life, Vanessa's life, our partnership, and that we were able to inspire and empower you to hopefully one day start your business if that's what you want to do. And you guys know that before we close out the episode, I always have a quote for you. So this is your quote for the week, okay? It's not what we have in life, but who we have in our life that matters. Again, it's not what we have in life, but who we have in our life that matters, you guys. So that is your quote. Thank you so much. Boo, I love you. I'll see you soon.
I love you too. Okay.
And congratulations on the graduation, girl. Look at you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love you guys. Thank you so much. Besitos. Mwah. Do you need advice on love, relationships, health, y más? I'm so excited to share with you that my Chiquis and Chill podcast will have an extra episode drop each week. I'll be answering all your questions. Just leave me a voice message con todas tus preguntas y yo te las voy a contestar personalmente. All you have to do is go to speakpipe.com/Chiquis and Chill podcast and record your questions. I can't wait to hear from you. This is a production of iHeartRadio and the My Cultura Podcast Network. Follow us on Instagram at My Cultura Podcast and follow me, Chiquis, that's CHIQUIS. For more podcasts from iHeart, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, and check us out on YouTube.